All right. I think that might have worked. Hello. Oh, it started up on screen here and then it disappeared. Does that mean it dropped or does that mean it's on? Let me fire up YouTube and see if this tells me something. Okay, let's see. Can I? Okay. Hello. That's funny. It's still in YouTube Studio. I still get the thumbnail, the kind of welcome screen. So I don't know what's up. That was totally weird. Everything's been fine all day. Zero problems, no stuttering, no. So it didn't. I didn't think, oh, I should reset everything before I start. Last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I've been resetting the modem and the router right before I start. And it seems to be working. Of course, the one time I don't do that, as soon as I try to stream, I'm dead. But this is when everybody is firing up Disney with the family and catching up. So hopefully it all sounds good. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience. And I almost hit the like button. No, I don't want to hit the like button. All right. What we got? Justin, thank you for joining us. Tobai, welcome back. John Beninati, Mike Berg, Bryce Cummings, Dark Frog, Paul, Geothermal, Rick Mahoney, Mugly Vapes, dude. Matt Millen, I have sound and action here. I don't have any action here, but I do have sound. Maybe what? In a year, I'll have action here. Matt Clint Fox, welcome. Rick Crawford, hello. Thanks for joining us. John Bullough. Uh, my review in the clutch has made you order one. I hope you like it. Um, I still really enjoy the clutch. Daz D, welcome. Lynn Smith, hello. Got the Goon 1.5 on a Minikin at about 75 watts with just a 1.5 nick, just 70 VG 1.5 nick. I've been using this to dilute, hit that hit that donut's chocolate because I'm trying to make it last longer. And so I've been kind of going back and forth between them. Uh, Still diluted, it's yummy. Well, not if I was trying full strength, but I don't notice any kind of problems, once you, I guess, get used to it being a little bit diluted. But these are the times when I'm trying to stretch everything I can. Um, a little bit of news to cover this week, some frustrating crap, and see what's going on. Well, we have for me, a decent number watching, so maybe dive into some of it. I did get ta-da, 4 of these UVC germicidal lamps that come with timers and everything, 5, 15, 30, 60 minutes. And I'm going to put them in. I've got 3 different sizes of this Pelican cases. This is the medium. And I'm going to decide what I'm putting to and just make a small germicidal cabinet because we'll be dealing with this crap here in New York City for a year at least. And for me, being particularly susceptible, being old, male, which means, more likely to die, and having a lot of health issues. Um, Death by COVID is a reality that I have to consider. So I want to make just a small germicidal cabinet. I don't want to put aside, and let's say an order of batteries gets to me in 2 days. I want to put it aside for a couple of days, or the contents. I don't want to put aside for a couple of days. My mail. I don't want to. Yes, you know, you can put it aside for one day and it's probably safe. I'd rather just drop it in the cabinet for 5 minutes and know it's safe. It's just these little things that I'm going to do because I just don't want to die a lonely, horrifying death gasping for air over 2 weeks. That's just me. Also, technically, I'm interested, and I think that's half of it. And a lot of the things engineering nerds will do is build something not because we need it, but we enjoy learning about how to build it. and other friends of mine, one who's recovering from chemotherapy, another one who is a severely compromised, well, they both have severely compromised immune systems, are considering cabinets. And I wanted to give them more knowledge, and by building one myself, and then probably building a second one in one of the other size cases and just giving them both of those. And then, I'll build something for myself that I know will fit me after building something for them. So I'll see how all that works out. Line it with aluminum foil. It's got timers. I'm going to put interlocks on it. Going to make it totally safe. I'm going to put it in the polycarbonate half-inch thick viewing window. Ultraviolet can't get through it, but you can see the glow. It will be very safe as long as you don't open it while it's on, because otherwise UVC is very dangerous. Eye damage. It's carcinogenic. It's not suntan. It's instant skin damage, burned. There is no UVC getting it through our atmosphere, so we don't get that zapping. We just get the UVA and UVB rays zapping us, and that can be bad enough. UVC is just flat out deadly. Who else is showing up here? White tooth name? Yep, 254. No 185. There's no ozone production with these bulbs. I was considering it. And one of my friends says she wants that because it's that much more effective, the one who's recovering from chemotherapy. And she's a separate bedroom that the almost all year round, the air flows out the window in the bedroom. So she can keep the case closed. These are watertight cases. Do everything. And the end of the procedure, wait an hour, then she can pop it open. All the ozone should be gone after about a half hour plus. But then that was interesting. Snapped my glasses right off my face, straight into the glass of water. I couldn't do that again in a million years. Okay, a little soggy. And the tricks are for free if you become a patron. Um, don't remember what the question was, but we're talking about my friend. I'm thinking of putting in the 185, 254 nanometer UVC bulbs for her, but it's just bulb swatch. It's just ordering different fixtures, the exact same size, and it just doesn't have the coating inside the tube like mine do to block out the ozone producing wavelength, for those who might be wondering. Other name 1000, flee the city. I know someone who left New York for China for safety. That's funny. Well, no, my dad's a half mile from here. I want to stay around for him because I've been arranging, trying to. It's a nightmare. Food deliveries to him. So that's practically a full-time job in itself because 2 million other people in New York are trying to get the, I don't know, 100,000 delivery slots that are available. So it can take a week and a half because I just don't want him, well, anywhere. Yeah, he can take a walk around the block, but I don't want him at the pharmacy and the bank and all these other places. He's going to go out every day no matter what. So uh, just trying to get the things in place where we can do it, and then everyone's just got to take care of each other, share masks when you can, and help each other out. Brent Chadwick, welcome. Uncle, thank you, sir. Fog Dog paid for that trick, but it's too late now. Ah. And then on a rainy day like today, I was thinking, I'll pop open the windows, get some fresh air, get the heat from my radiant floor, inadvertent radiant floor heating from the building steam pipe passing underneath my apartment, and get this apartment down below 90 degrees for once. And but usually when it rains, the pollen isn't bad, but today, wow. So pardon the sniffles, occasional cough, and et cetera, and so forth. Akeem, one of his married 18650s just started making a rattling sound. Time to replace all three? Well, definitely don't even consider using or shaking the one that's rattling. That means the central metal mandrel rod that all the layers of goop and metal and plastic that are rolled up on has come loose. And it's just not good to have that banging around. It can poke through on the bottom. It might do damage up on top with the spot welds. Just don't use it, don't charge it, don't shake it. Put some tape over the top, get rid of it. If you have a married set, you're going to have to use those two and something else. Get a new married set of three. But it's bad. Once batteries should not make noise, they shouldn't slosh, they shouldn't really do anything but sit there in your device and deliver electrons. Anyone who wants to ask me a question, please. Battery, space, Mooch. You don't need a hashtag. You don't need an @ symbol. Nothing. Just battery, space, Mooch. Nice bright red tag for me when I see it. Moderators, every few minutes, because people come and go. Just kind of remind people of that one. Clickmans, respects and greetings from Sweden. Well, hello. Stay safe, keep distance. Absolutely. Same to you, sir. I hope you and your family are staying safe and sane. Though I think Sweden was never really impacted that hard. In fact, was Sweden the country that pretty well just didn't lock down anything, but still managed to keep most of it away? I think I was reading about that. John Best. Hi, Mooch. I'm looking for a half decent 4-bay charger. I would even take more bays looking for something well priced, good value for the money. Sorry, I don't have any recommendations for chargers. You can check just because what we want from a charger can be so utterly and completely different. It doesn't make any sense for me to recommend any. Because someone goes, I don't need that, or oh, I gotta have this. It just doesn't work. And I haven't found a charger yet, which I top to bottom absolutely love. Find the link to my blog at ECF in the description section below. Then go to my link for my charger test, and then just read the summaries for the 4 to 6, 8-bay chargers that are there, and see which one or two, maybe three, might be acceptable to you in terms of what you like to see in my report and what you didn't like seeing in my eye test report, and you'll be able to narrow it down. Christopher Murdoch, $10 for CA. Currency, CA. Canadian? I'm terrible with that. Um, Thank you very much. Hi, Mooch. Is it okay if I use an old laptop battery with a 0.05 ohm coil, right? Of course. You know, 0.05. Why are you vaping such a high resistance? That's what I don't understand. You get big clouds with 0.01. In fact, just get some rebar. If you bend some rebar, half-inch rebar, and just jam that in the post, awesome vape. You can wrap a pillowcase around that and soak that in liquid. All right, folks, I know I'm joking, and so is he. Joking, wanted to say a huge thank you for all your work for the vape community. Thank you, sir, for your kind words and for your super chat. Fog Dog, yes, it is a nice red. John Beninati, I bought 4 sets of LGs for backup mods. One set doesn't charge or hold power, I guess DOA, and I got them a month ago. What would cause that? These are HG2s. It's funny, HG2s I hear more about cells dying than any other cell, and those are the only ones from the big manufacturers that trip their internal protection device when I pulse them really hard, like 30, 35 amps, which is preposterous for that battery. But some people do it, so I wanted to see what it's like, and I can get them to fail pretty regularly. So I'm thinking. What I'm kind of wondering is with those, because HG2s have a steel rod, a mandrel down the center, like the other person was saying. You can hear them sometimes if you shake, but don't shake them. Just don't shake them. Uh, I'm wondering if that breaks loose and bangs the top and trips the protection circuit because it's mechanical. It's overpressure protection. So if you drop a battery, or maybe the mandrel smashes it from an impact being dropped or handled really hard, that might trip it and kill the battery. But I don't know. I don't have enough evidence, enough of them failing, unless I make them fail in my hands in order to be able to know for sure. But certainly, if they can't take a charge, you're reading 0 voltage, they're dead. Don't try to revive them or anything. You'll have to replace them. Hopefully, you can get your money back. Rick Waldman says a Gear Falcon all 44 and 88 will charge 21700s, but won't charge protected 21700s, which, well, actually, no. Maybe if you're a very low power vapor, but I don't know any devices. Well, so flashlights will take protected 21700s, but none of our mods will. John Wisser, welcome. No problem being late. It took me 10 minutes to get a stream going anyway, so you haven't missed too much. Boxcar Rick, I was going to address that. Final word on the Glee S4 charger. Um, it's just frustration, but I'll dive into that soon. Battery Addiction is building a solar generator. That's awesome. Better than the Kodiak. That sounds interesting. Mowgli bought 3 more extra VB4s. Stuart Ayrton, tell someone not to shake them. What happens? Okay, true. Well, I think it's about 50-50. Stu Rep, welcome, sir. Dart Frog Paul, battery space mooch in the front of your question. Just make sure I see it. You happen to be wedged between a couple of questions, so I caught it. If I chain vape between 75 and 90 watts, would the VCC 5.8 be okay? You're chain vaping past the rating. You're past the rating and you're chain vaping. So both of those are bad for any kind of decent life. Will it survive? Yeah, but you're going to get terrible performance, short vaping time. You're damaging the cell. and you get a lot of voltage sag. It'd be better if you were up at levels that high. I would say the 20S. There's not going to be that much of a difference in vaping time because the 20S is that much more efficient. It's going to hold its voltage up better. In fact, it might at 90 watts there may not be any difference, but the 20S will have a longer overall life because you're not stressing it that hard. Better to go with two battery mod though. I know, not an option. Jimmy Wolf asks, have I seen the video about Samsung's breakthrough on solid state batteries? I've posted about that and spoken about that. It's something in the lab. They have got something, a derivation of it. It's supposed to be coming out this year, but who knows what's coming out or not coming out if it's the same breakthrough that I'm talking about. But it's no different than 100 other breakthroughs that are in the labs and that will appear over the next 1 to 5 years. First for transportation, electric vehicles, energy storage systems, and things like that. I don't think we'll ever see it in a round cell, but it may be in some flat pouch cells eventually, or for phones or something like that. There'll be low current rated, ultra high capacity batteries with hopefully additional safety on that, but they're going to cost a fortune. John Wisser wonders, how would you figure the current limit on a triple parallel mod? Well, triple. The ratings, 320 amp cells in parallel, would be theoretically 60 amps. But since every battery is slightly different and every connection inside the sled and the wiring are all different in terms of the resistances, the current sharing, the amount of current each battery shares out of that 60 amps will be different. So what we do is we derate the 60 amps, bring it down to like 45, 50 amps. That way, if one of them draws more than 20 amps, or wouldn't, if you're drawing 60 amps, one of them might, supply 25 amps or 30 amps or something because of the uneven current sharing. By bringing it back down to 45 or 50, one of those cells that may be delivering more than the others isn't delivering too much. But, feel the cells. If one's running a lot warmer than the others, bring the rating down another 10 amps and see what that's like. Y-tube name, remedial question. Is 26650 Glee haven't been used much and is going on 2.6 years? Is there a shelf life guideline? No. No guidelines. It's up to the individual cell and its condition. You try to store a 2-year-old battery that's been abused hard, it's got a lot of leakage current going on. It's self-discharging quicker. It's already aged decently, so you might have to top it off a little bit every 2, 3 months. A fresh cell from the factory, you may be able to put away for a year before you have to top it off a bit. Make sure it stays between 3.4 and 3.7 volts or so. Check it every 2 months. If put it in at 3.6 and 2 months later it's at 2.9, that's leaking really fast. If you put it away at 3.6, you pull it out in 2 months, it's 3.5. Well, it's okay. Now maybe you come back in, 4 months or something like that, and top it off a little bit to 3.7 or something like that. But it still depends on the battery's capacity and its leakage rate, how much it's leaking internally, not fluid-wise, but how much it's self-discharging internally. Tenacious TX, $5. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome, dude. Mooch, you're getting a first production run of the heavy hitter. Just thought I would donate a bit since I forgot to reply to your message. Not a problem. Forget to reply to my messages anytime you want. If I can get enough people to not reply to my messages, I'm rich. So that's awesome, dude. Thank you very much for that first production run of the heavy hitter, so I can be really, really mean to it, since it won't be any kind of special pre-production something on that. Thank you for the news. Thank you for the super chat. And this testing is going to be awesome. Orthodium asks, what is the ideal depth of charge, DOC, and depth of discharge, DOD, would you recommend for maximum longevity on MJ1 electric scooter pack? Well, nothing specific. The smaller the window, the lower the voltage you charge to, and the higher the voltage you discharge to. Namely, you're not doing this every time you discharge and charge, but you're just doing this around the 3.7 volt mark, 3.6 volt mark or something. If you go 3.6 to 3.8 volts, you're going to get no capacity out of that thing. You're going to get 1 minute runtime, but you might get 15,000 cycles out of it. 15,000 equivalent full cycles, namely, 150,000 charges from 3.6 to 3.8 or something like that. So its temperature is absolutely critical for maximum battery life, hugely important. But shrink Charge to 4.0, discharge to 3.2. That could triple your number of cycles, the cycle life of the battery. Tenacious TX is more of a fan of the P42A. Great cell, definitely. The 30T hits a touch harder for the first third of the discharge, but the P42A holds its voltage up longer. So if you take 10 puffs and then you switch batteries, the 30T might be a little bit better choice for you. But if you're going beyond that, if you're taking the battery down to, once you put it in the charger, it's at like 3.6 volts or something, my choice is the P42A. Tank 52086. Does a larger gauge coil consume the same amount of power as a smaller gauge coil with the same resistance? Same resistance means, by definition, exactly the same amount of current. It cannot change if the resistance is the same. But a larger coil has a longer ramp up time, so you're holding the button down for longer, and that discharges the battery more. Namely, you're taking more energy out of the battery to heat that coil up versus a fast responding same resistance coil that has less metal mass that you have to heat up. So same amount of current in terms of safety of the battery, but your battery will run out faster with a super high mass coil because of that ramp up time where you have to hold the button down for longer. Fogdog, do you know of the PUL mode on the Vapour Gen mod? If so, can you explain? Sorry, I don't know. It sounds like some kind of pulse mode. Oh wait, I think I saw someone's review about that. DJ LSB Vape, so somebody else I think was saying they saw no difference because it kind of sawtoothed pulsed the something, and they weren't quite sure what it did. But sorry, I don't know. I think DJ LSB Vapes at least showed you what it did, but I think he said he didn't notice any kind of difference on it. Battery addiction. Battery space mooch in front, please. Do I know anything about capacitor battery mix? Yes, but you'd have to ask a very specific question. I've done that before, mixing ultracapacitors and lithium ferrous phosphate batteries for internal combustion engine starting. Battery, John Whistler. Okay, that was my line of thought as well. I did know it wouldn't be 3 times the current rating. Just wasn't sure of the ratio. The ratio is really your risk, depending on the mod. He was talking about triple parallel, what the rating of triple parallel would be. For a really crappy wired device, I'd say go to half the triple rating. It's 3 times 20 would be 60 amps theoretical. Drop it to 30 because you have a crap wired mod. For a beautifully wired mod, batteries in perfect condition, maybe you go 55. It's really your risk threshold and the stuff you're working with. Nefarian, welcome. That's drying out. Spectre, welcome, dude. $10 super chat. Thank you. There's something about a 4P3S 11.1 volt molicell P42A pack I made for an inverter project. What would you assume is the maximum current draw I can draw from that pack continuously, safely? Haha, you know better than to use the word safely, but I understand without undue risk, perhaps. Um, well, if you're at 4P, now I'm assuming you have interconnects that can handle the current sharing and stuff like that, dozens of amps that could flow intercell, in addition to coming out of the pack. Conservative, you didn't say if you want a decent cycle life or not, but I'm going to assume decent cycle life. I'd say, if you're at 4 of those in parallel, 100 amps. Um, I'd say if you have any way of measuring temperature, keep an eye on that. But that is down below, maybe 75 or 80 amps. But boy, just the interconnects. And, for 75, 80 amp project where you're drawing continuous because you're running an inverter, you're talking, at 80 amps, you're talking what, 2 gauge wire? 4 gauge wire? At least, if not double. I'd probably do double 4 gauge. Because then you can take current from 2 points in the pack and not have current concentrating in one wire, which is a real problem. All the current going into, even if you have a huge wire, 0 gauge wire, all the current's going out the bus bars at one point. Better to use, 2 or 3 in parallel from different points on the pack. Okay, that was a little juicy. Rick Waldman. So I have a 2-year-old Anker power bank. I love those things that will no longer take a full charge. Ooh, don't love that. It's nuts for you. But other than that, it works fine. Oh, is there any danger in using it? There's just no way. I have no idea what's going on with it. I, if it's not taking a charge, you're getting very little use out of it anyway if it's not going to charge. So I'd say just stop using it because you can only use it for the remainder of the charge anyway. Something is wrong with the thing. If it's not taking any charge at all, sounds like the electronics are damaged, which means all bets are off in terms of what's going on inside. So I wouldn't use it. Um, I couldn't possibly recommend to someone, yeah, it's no problem for something I know nothing about. So I have to err on the side of the caution and say not to use it at all. Tenacious low mass coils for the win. Absolutely. I'm just after 5 years beginning to go, oh yeah, okay. And seeing the bad results and you still get decent vape and everything. Razor Pony, yes, unleashed. Not regular Razor Pony, but they let them go. Out on weekends or you're unleashed 24/7. Galeazzi S4 News. Okay. The European Commission, regulatory arm of the EU, European Union, issued a recall, a safety alert, serious level, serious, recall the Galeazzi S4 charger, saying that it should be recalled from all end users. Now, this was April 17th. This was 9 days ago. I have been in touch with Galeazzi for 4 days this week. They ignored a bunch of messages, finally got hold of them, gone back and forth. They are hurt. Oh, that this recall has happened and they were safety certified in 2017. What what does that have to do with a recall for 2020? I don't know, and the European Commission doesn't know if the recall is being issued because of counterfeit Galeazzi S4 chargers that are defective or genuine ones. But the recall is for all genuine S4s. I'm going to be doing a Minding Your Mouse episode about this as soon as I can get the rest of my screen captures done and get my timeline done. I'm in the process of writing it now. Galeazzi hasn't said a single word. They have a post of a vape model, lots of blue around, and underneath it they go blue, 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 and that's all wonderful. I mean, a lot of us like blue, but that's the only thing Instagram Galeazzi has said. There's no new posts on their Facebook page since the recall. Essentially, they are silent about this. That's unacceptable. You can just tell us we don't know what's going on. We're trying to find out. If I was producing a if I was producing a charger, I would be auditing the factory, getting samples from production runs, ordering every single one I could find from public, getting every distributor to send me some, and trying to find out if this is counterfeit or genuine. You certainly want to call the European Commission and get pictures and try to find out if it's a fake or not. And then you want to tell every single customer of yours last Friday night, 9 days ago, that whoa, this happened. We don't know what's going on or what's happening. We don't, say whatever you have to say. But I don't know, but it's like Galeazzi just wants this to disappear or something. They had plenty of time to make an announcement, even if they know nothing about what is actually defective or not defective. So right now, I'm just recommending if you have a Galeazzi S4, to not use it. That's me. If I had one, that's what I would do. Um, that for the S2, it operates the same way from the wall. Maybe not use that also. The S6 uses a AC adapter, so I'm hoping that's okay. There's also the Charger O2, Charger O4, the i2, and the i4 that are also AC plug powered, namely not USB, no wall wart or anything. Plugs right into the wall. I have no idea because Galeazzi's not saying anything. There could be a potential problem with those. Many chargers share circuitry or share components. Now, the test low voltage directive, namely what the European Commission, the EC, says this defective charger violates a low voltage directive, a safety standard, or it refers to safety standards to keep you from getting electrocuted for certain low voltage devices like chargers. The test report And the test certificate for Glee lists all those charges I mentioned, the S2, the S4, the O2, the O4, the I2, the I4, and I think the needle 1 and the needle 2, I believe. Now, those may have changed. That was in 2017. I think needles are maybe now USB, but I'm not sure. But it lists all those as being covered. So I'm thinking they may share some circuitry, but I don't know because Gleason isn't saying anything. They're just saying that they're upset that there was a recall issued. I I think there's a responsibility to the public for something like this, just to say, we don't know what's going on, but we're really concerned about your safety. Here's what you can do for a week until we find out. Don't use S4 chargers. And oh, by the way, these other chargers share circuitry. Don't use those. Or these other chargers don't share circuitry and components. You're totally cool to go use those. How hard is that to issue as a company? I'll be more in the mining and Moss thing. Stu Rep asks, I use Samsung 25Rs. Are they okay to use still? I can't imagine why they wouldn't be. What have you seen that made you think they're not okay to use? Battery space Mooch in the front, so I see it. Let me try to catch up with chat here. Des D, have they stopped making 2650 HG6s? I don't know. It could be the thing they were only made for one client and some excess inventory appeared and they're still only being made for the one client, but there's no excess inventory for us to buy in the gray market. That's the only way we're getting these cells. Diverted shipments, excess inventory, gray market stuff. So I don't know, but I don't know if they're still making them or not. Sorry. Miguel, thanks for everything you do. Thank you for joining us in chat. Thank you for your kind words. Spectre, thanks. And yes, I'm using solid copper bus bars, very thick. Maybe I'll toss in an NTC. There you go. Or black spray paint and any kind of thermal gun, infrared gun. Dakota Simon has an i4 charger. Hopefully it doesn't get recalled. I hope not too. But I hope we find out whether it shares components with the S4 or not. Because then you should recall it yourself. Or at least contact Gleason. info@gleason.com, by the way, if anyone has any questions. But that'll be in my Mining Your Moz episode. Stuart Ayrton. In the EU Gleason recall notice, in the fake genuine field, it stated unknown. Right. So we don't know if it can mean two things. Number one, they don't know if they have a fake or genuine, or they don't know if fake ones are available. I'm assuming is they don't know if they have a fake or genuine, but that means it could be genuine, which means we have to get some knowledge and we shouldn't use our S4s till we know whether it is genuine or not. This is where Gleason comes in and tells us. Gleason Germany said, we're not recalling. It's a few days ago. We're not recalling. We're trying to find out what's going on, but I haven't heard anything since. And nothing from Gleason China. It just let us know. John Lister, I need whiskey in that cup. I most definitely do. Rick Waldman with Super Chat. Thank you for all the valuable information and all the work you put in behind the scenes. Thank you for the Super Chat and for your kind words. I really appreciate that. Yeah, people don't realize sometimes it's half, sometimes it's 90%. Like if you don't see me posting, it's because I'm working 10 hours a day on research and or testing or talking to companies and stuff like that. It takes a huge amount of time, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Boxcar Rick, I've had mine for at least a year, maybe more, no probs, but I'm ordering a different charger, never anything Gleason again. Thanks for all you do. And I'm not advocating, it's up to you. I'm not advocating some kind of boycott. I'm not advocating you toss your S4. I'm just saying don't use it till we know whether this recall applies to genuine or fake S4s. That's it. It's just my recommendation that I would do if I had an S4. I wouldn't use it because I don't know if it's a safety problem or not. And for me, that's a problem. Brent Hughes, best 18350. I'm thinking that's a question. It's the VapCell 10 amp or the Keep Power. They were the same cell from the Yangdu Li New Energy Company in China. But you can go to my blog at ECF, go to the recommended batteries site, and you can grab both my tables. But at least as of earlier this year, they can change anytime. A day after I do my test reports, they can change. But it was the keep power. What are they, around 1100 mAh or something like that? Really more like 900 to 1000, but they're rated I think around 1100. The Vapour, excuse me, keep power and the VapCell. John Beninati, super chat. Thank you. Battery Mooch is the real deal. Thank you for all you do. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat and your kind words. Yeah, Maciej, Siege or Siege, probably black key power, the black key power or the VapCell. They're the exact same battery under the wrap from the Young Lee New Energy Company. Hobo Junction, what do you think about home tech batteries, specifically the Home Run XL? I don't remember. I don't remember how it compared. It was I think last autumn. I tested all the home techs, all six of them. They were okay. They weren't best performers. I think was it the XL I had a cell failure with? But I think that was because I said it was samples. But check my blog at ECF, link down below in description, and go to my test report, the Home Run XL, and you can get all the information there. I would say still, if someone's asking for recommendation, just you can go to my recommend batteries tables, and you'll see the ones I recommend are Molicel P42A for best all around, 30T for at least at the beginning hardest hitter, 40T if you can't find the Molicel. Outback Vaping, do I have a preference for chargers? I have what I like from a charger, namely be able to adjust everything on the planet. So the Gear Falcon All 88 or the X-Tar Dragon, though the X-Tar Dragon, all the slides now, you practically need a sledgehammer to retract after less than a year. And speaking to someone else who has the same problem, I want, the complexity takes me a week. It forces me to take a week to learn how to use the damn thing. But because I'm testing lots of different batteries, different voltages, different chemistries and stuff, I need that flexibility. Some people just want one freaking LED that turns green or red and just wants that thing to just be charged without worrying about a million settings. So I don't have anything I can recommend. I'd say go to my blog at ECF and look at my list of charger tests and just read the summaries for each test and see if one might be uh, have the least of what you don't like to see and the most of what you do like to see in a charger in terms of performance and the feature mix, which is critical. Yeah, we got 10 minutes or so. Hopewell Junction, what do you think about home tech batteries? I think I answered that one. Outback Vaping, do I have a preference? Am I just behind on reading the questions? Hopewell Junction, thank you for responding. Oh, I'm just behind on reading. Hello, Mooch. Put battery space Mooch in the front. I happen to catch yours because I hadn't scrolled. Do I have a link where I can buy insulating spare parts for a discharge base? I'm not sure what you mean by discharge base, a homemade electronic load for discharging, or for the base of a discharger, and that a commercial discharger like a Glee or an X-Tar, and you're looking for parts. I don't. It really depends what your piece is. If you just want insulation, stuff like that, any place that sells plastics or rubbers, like in the US, it'd be McMasterCar.com. But or hardware stores can be great because you can repurpose something, even a sheet of neoprene for a table mat, a dinner mat or something like that. So it's really what exactly that you're looking for. I don't have a specific recommendation without knowing that. Sid one likes the Sky RC MC3000. That is, yeah, I think remember doing that one doing pretty well overall in terms of accuracy and stuff. None of them were great for capacity or particularly internal resistance. Internal resistance is useless on all of them unless you're willing to press and hold the contact against it. Uh, how can this still be juicy? I know you like mech mods. What about bypass unregulated mod? Isn't it more safe? It can potentially be safe if the protections are working and are there. Yes, it protects the mod. It doesn't necessarily protect the battery because the bypass mode doesn't have any idea what's going on with the battery. So it certainly helps protect the mod. It actually can. I'm sorry, that was a lie. It can protect the battery because hopefully it shuts down in case of a short circuit in the atomizer. So for that, yeah, you lose a little power through the protection circuitry, so it'll never be the same as a really hard-hitting mech. But you can always compensate by changing the resistance of your coils on there. But bypassing a regulated mod for me doesn't make any sense because you're so limited now. If you want a different vape experience, you have to change your coils. But in a regulated mod, you can adjust the power up or down. So I'd say stick in wattage mode and just get the exact vape you want with the coils that you have. Hopefully, you're able to reach that with the coils you have. Tank 5286. Glee. Chinese company failing to acknowledge safety issues. Sounds familiar. Possibly. Kelly Knudsen uses an Osmotis Minikin Mini while out and about, uses an 18500 battery. Where in the heck do I find one of those, and what is a good one? It seems like there are no tests done. I've tested two of them. It's hard to find more. Lots of people say, "Oh, there's this one and that one," but nobody has them in stock anywhere. They're just not available for purchase. I tested a VapCell 18500 that seemed pretty decent. I think I ended up, it was 10 amp rated, and I think I actually rated it at 10 amps. So the VapCell 18500 is decent. I don't know who has it in stock. I don't keep track of that, but you can look at a list of vendors in the description section below and try them, see who has them in stock. If it's not in this description section, find one of my Minding Your Mobs or one Minding Your Mechs videos, and there's a whole bunch of links there to vendors who are selling batteries, and hopefully one of them has the VapCell 18500. But it's I would love to test more 18500s. There's a small population that I think deserves some testing after 5 years. And I finally got around to a couple of them. It's just very, very hard to find them. And we've got about 7, 8 minutes. Okay, the Tensei 18500 NSIG, so that would be from companies like Encon, maybe Encon.nl. If you're in the European Union, then you'd be able to get them probably for NSIG. I don't think anybody carries NSIGs in America, but who's the other? Oh my gosh, who's the other big brand distributor? The one who carries Encon, and I forgot the other. Oh well, but um, where are you? Who was asking about those? Kelly, if Kelly is in the US, the fewer options, unless you're willing to spend, the shipping to get something from Europe. The water's at least keeping me from coughing. Battery addiction. Ha ha ha, good name. Battery mooch. Yeah, the battery mooch name itself. Yeah, and the mooch has absolutely nothing to do with the dictionary definition of the name. Mooch is a single syllable from a spectacularly unfortunate grade school nickname that I'd gotten. That is a play off my personal family name. So I was just called Mooch for a while. But then everyone started calling me Battery Mooch, and there was back then another Mooch in the vaping community. So I just said, okay, for some places I'll just add battery in front of it, like for YouTube and stuff like that, because there are a lot of just plain old Mooch channels on YouTube. Orthodium, are the graphene batteries a reality or more of a marketing hype at the present moment? A marketing hype. Graphene batteries have the potential, if the rest of the battery is designed well enough, to add capacity to the battery. That's not much more. If you change everything in the battery, now you can up the current rating thanks to graphene, but graphene is expensive as hell compared to graphite, the other form of carbon that the batteries we're using now. So graphene can give you an advantage if you're willing to pay the price, and they redesign the rest of the battery if you're looking for higher current handling to work better with the graphene. Now, there are some true graphene batteries just starting to come to the market now, but a lot of batteries, particularly the lipos, just use one sheet of graphene to help distribute the current through the graphite. Namely, the ions hit the graphene, they spread out easily. Now they can find ways in to the graphite easier. So it's really just an aid to lower internal resistance, and you don't have a true graphene battery. So there's just some graphene in it. And you have to make sure, if you're paying more money, which one you're getting. Otherwise, I'd say 2 to 5 years, and you start seeing it in pouch batteries, whether retail phones and things like that. Who knows? Maybe this year or next year for phones. There's a big enough market for that. But for us to see it at a round cell, I don't know. We use commodity cells, dirt cheap in terms of manufacture and production costs. I don't know if anyone's going to be putting graphene in our cells, but maybe we can get a 6,000 milliampere hour 21700 if someone does. 3, 4 minutes or so. Arabic named person, which, and I don't remember enough of my alif ba, my ABCs from Arabic, other than marhaba, kefahal. Um, hi, how you doing? Is me John? My name is John. Stuff like that. So, what is the best scenario for using uh, bypass mode? Let's say I have two Samsung 40Ts. Best scenario, don't use them. Use regulated and get the exact vape you want. But sounds like you really want to use bypass mode. Two Samsung 40Ts with a point 0.1. Is it safe? No, it's not safe. There is no use of any battery that's safe. There's always concerns. Um, I don't know if your batteries are in series or in parallel. I'm going to assume in series because it's a regulated device. So two Samsung 40Ts in series, I'd stay under 25 amps. Now, if you're using bypass mode, you must, before you do any use it in bypass mode, you must know Ohm's law. And you have to take those two batteries in series, 8.4 volts, which is what I recommend using. Use Ohm's law equation for that 0.15 ohm coil and make sure you're under 25 amps, which I guarantee you are not. So do not use this setup until you learn Ohm's law. In the meantime, use regulated mode, and frankly, you'll get a better vape with more protections because it'll just draw the amount of power that you need. Once you learn Ohm's law and you learn what resistance you need to draw 25 amps or less, assuming 240Ts in series, then you can go into bypass mode. Otherwise, no. You have to assume it's functioning like a mechanical mod. Please. 2 more minutes. Outback Vaping. Who do I contact about the Glee S4 charger? I'm in Australia, and first I've seen about it. Info@galisi.com. They ignored my Instagram message. They ignored my 2 Facebook messages. The only place they've responded was info@galisi.com. You can ask them there. I'm hoping that my Minding Your Mouth thing gets them to post to acknowledge what the hell's going on, or just tell us, oh, that's just a fake. Don't worry. And oh, by the way, here's how to find out if you have a freaking vape, freaking fake, freaking fake or genuine S4 charger, which is going to be the next logical question if they say, oh, those are all fakes. You have to be able to find out if you have a fake or not. Mike Berg, $3 super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Mooch. Got to run. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much for the super chat. And okay, last 1 or 2 questions. John Whistler, 56 amps, 470 watts. Yeah, 0.15 ohms on a series bypass mode mod. No, that will trip the protection circuitry. Hopefully. You're very welcome. John Benanati, thanks for all you do. Be safe and blessed. Thank you. 757. Let's start to roll it off here. I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. I had a lot more energy today, even though dying nose and lungs from the pollen and stuff. I think I'm finally adapting to the new normal here a little more. And I hope everyone stays safe, stay sane, and vape on. Thank you for joining me. And I'll be in None of the Vape Show because of all the great topics they have there. And I'll see you in chat over there while I'm making dinner. Everyone, take care. Thanks.